Meanwhile, in New Zealand, the COVID-19 pandemic may have slowed down the country's economy, but real estate prices in the country are not slackening at all. Greg Besa, our New Eagle News correspondent from Wellington City, will fill us in with more details. Greg?
While the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic became evident during the first 2 quarters of this year, many experts predicted that this would lead to the crashing of the housing market in New Zealand. Yet, as the coronavirus crisis continues to evolve for the past 7 months now, housing prices are not slowing down, not only in Lower Hutt, the 7th largest city in New Zealand, but also in different places across the country. Ray Wallace, a real estate agent, gives us a brief insight behind this upward house pricing.
Contrary to what many experts have predicted that the pandemic would crush the New Zealand market, the housing prices, not only here in Lower Hutt, but as well as in other parts of the country, are constantly increasing despite of the health and economic crisis that we're confronting right now. Now, why is it happening, and what do you think are the contributing factors behind this upward pricing trend?
Why it's happening comes down to the simple supply and demand. The supply of properties are simply not there, and I think that has been contributed by a lot of the experts saying that things were going to probably get worse when they haven't. I think that sort of talk hasn't been helpful. I didn't believe that for a moment. I think that the market will stay steady. The property market is one of the best investments people can have. You see massive fluctuations in share prices. The banks obviously not giving as much in the way of interest on their accounts now. Property is a stable investment. So what it has caused, though, people to be a bit concerned about the economy in general with these sorts of statements. People that were going to be listing their properties are now holding back. So it's supply and demand. The demand is very high. Prior to COVID, Greg, we went in to COVID in a housing crisis. Coming out of the COVID lockdown period, we're still in a housing crisis. So the demand is very high, but the supply is not there. And when that happens, it means that the prices go up because there's a lot more people looking for homes and a lot more homes available on the market.
Despite the economic consequences caused by the pandemic, there are Filipino families who are fortunate enough to own and acquire their first home, one of whom is the family of Noli and Berna Pascual.
Na ng pandemic, sa wakas nakabili na po na rin kami ng bahay dito sa New Zealand.
Opo, kami po sa amin kami po ay blessed very na kami ay nakakuha na ng bahay dito in spite po ng kahirapan at saka we work hard for it po na makakuha kami ng sarili na naming bahay dito kaysa po mag-rent. So kami po ay lubos na nagpapasalamat kahit na may pandemic, kami po ay nakakuha pa rin dito na masasabing sa amin na po ang bahay.
From Wainumatta, Lower Hutt, this is Greg Besa of Eagle News New Zealand Bureau. We live in interesting times.